Hello folks, welcome back to the channel, and damn it, the day has finally arrived. The HP Reverb G2 is officially dead. And this is my very last flight in the headset that started this channel off. What an absolute shame, because I'm revisiting this headset for the first time in probably, it's got to be 2 years, you know, since I've used this headset. And it still looks really good. That's what surprised me, because as you know, I've moved on with different VR headsets over the years. That being, you know, some of the highest tier headsets you can get, like the Varia XR4, the Somnium VR1, the Pimax Crystal, but also others such as the Pico 4 and the Quest 3. And this still looks really good. I'm not thinking, oh my god, this looks rubbish, you know. I'm actually thinking, holy crap, this still looks really, really good in this thing. The colours, the clarity, the audio, the comfort, it's still right on point, even in 2024. Now, unfortunately, there is a new update to Windows 11, which I haven't installed yet, and that's why I'm still flying in the G2 right now. But once I install that update, that is it. There'll no longer be Windows Mixed Reality software on my computer. So sad, isn't it? It's really such a sad day, this. Now, for those of you out there that still want to continue using your Reverb G2, I would recommend downgrading to Windows 10. Then you'll be okay. Although I say okay in inverted commas, because I don't really know what the future holds. If you think about MSFS 2024 and various other updates, eventually software compatibility is going to break this headset. So what better way as a tribute to this fantastic VR headset that started off a new generation of high-fidelity PC VR users, especially those into flight simulation, than to fly Blackjack, an aircraft that's also now being scrapped at some point in the near future. And I've seen this aircraft many times display over the UK, and yeah, I just love this livery. Many happy memories with both seeing this aircraft and being in this VR headset. You know, this Reverb G2 has probably got about 2,000 or 3,000 hours in it, or even more than that, and hundreds of videos on the channel of the Reverb G2. And if I remember, I'll stick my initial review of the Reverb G2 in the notes below. I remember when HP reached out to me and sent this to me. I was one of the very first, me and Seb, my friend from MRTV, if you're watching this, hey buddy. We were the first to review this, and it was such an exciting time. And yes, the sweet spot in this is incredibly tiny. In fact, I'm having to adjust it a little bit now, just so I can see the gauges, but there we are. I think I'm about there. That's better. Now it's really sharp. And once you're in the sweet spot, it's okay. Still got to move your head around a bit more, of course. But apart from that, this looks really good. I mean, the field of view is a little bit squashed down than I'm used to. I can't remember the figures, but it's probably around 90 odd degrees horizontal. So really the question now remains, what is the best upgrade path for you watching this? Especially if you're looking at MSFS 2024, what is the best upgrade for the Reverb G2? Well, in my opinion, there's probably 2 or 3 options out there at the moment. The first one is the Quest 3. Now, the thing is about the Quest, as you know, if you've watched this channel, you know what I'm going to say, it doesn't have a DisplayPort connection. Oh, look at that. Whoa. So that means you're not going to get the full direct feed from your PC via HDMI DisplayPort. So you're going to get compression, and it's not going to look as sharp. And you may get artifacts as well. Not only that, the Quest 3 colours are not as good as this. In fact, I'm actually quite taken back with the colours of the Reverb G2. It's still very good. Very, very good, in fact, especially for LCD. So that crisp and sharp image, while you can super sample the Quest 3 and with virtual desktop, it does look good, or via USB-C, it can look pretty good. Don't get me wrong, it can look good. But your computer is going to have to work harder because it's got to do loads of encoding. Lots of noughts and ones rather than just a direct feed. And it's just not going to look as crisp and as sharp as this. However, in the Quest 3, you do get pancake lenses. So that tiny sweet spot that I've just mentioned, when you're looking at all these gauges, well, instead of a sweet spot which is about that, the Quest is like this. It's pretty damn big.
Pull up, pull up.
Don't worry, bitchin' Betty, I've got this. So you can move your eyes around a lot more, and it's a lot more comfortable as well to sort of be in for a long time because it's just easy on your eyes. However, there is a bit of an issue, and that is the binocular overlap of the Quest 3. If you're not in that decent range of IPD, that is, say, 62 to 68, something like that, then the binocular overlap, which they borrowed to get a better field of view, might be an issue for you. And that can actually induce eye strain. The binocular overlap on the Reverb G2 is actually pretty damn good. Not bad at all. Which I've forgotten about, among many other things. Damn, this thing is comfortable. I've forgotten how good this is. Honestly, I've forgotten. I've been a bit jaded with different VR headsets over the years. Of course, you know, things have been moving on. Technology's moved on so fast. But coming back to this again, it's made me realise how bloody good this is. And I wish we had native Steam VR support, because unfortunately we do need the proprietary Windows Mixed Reality software in order for this to boot up, even if you use Steam VR. Such a shame. Such a shame. Let me just check. I am still recording. Good stuff. So yeah, the Quest 3 is an option for you, and it's an amazing headset. I love mine. I use it all the time, but mainly for gaming, like Assassin's Creed, Asgard's Wrath, you know, walkabout mini golf, and a bit of wireless VR, PC VR. But overall, I wouldn't really recommend it as a flight simulation headset if you're really serious about your, you know, your hobby. And again, remember, you're going to have to get a new facial interface, a new strap, and a link cable. So even though the price of the headset has come down, that's still going to be a good £200 on top. So the next option is the Bigscreen Beyond, which I've shown on the channel many times. I'm not going to go into all that again, guys, because I've done it loads recently, so I'm not going to do that. But basically, in a nutshell, it is an amazing headset with micro OLED visuals, so black levels are true black, rich colours, which is the future of VR. Make no mistake, micro OLED is the future of VR. You can have it now with a Bigscreen Beyond, with an amazing form factor, crazy light. You have a bespoke facial interface which is scanned to your face, and it's 2560 per eye. Super high resolution. This looks amazing, guys. This looks so good. But the trouble is, because it's micro OLED and that form factor, you do pay the penalty because it has glare. You know, I mean, be fair, I forgot that this headset does have quite a bit of glare, but it's worse than this. The glare is worse than this, depending on the scene, and it has quite a small sweet spot, but again, not as small as the Reverb G2. You know, it's still, if you went from the Bigscreen Beyond from this, you would actually think the sweet spot's pretty good, because the G2, it is tiny in this thing. You know, I've actually moved out of it again. There we go, I'm in it again. I'm not using the Studio Form patchy strap, which actually helps keep the headset, you know, firm on your face. So yeah, there is limitations to that. But it is an amazing headset, and I think at the time of recording, in fact, yes, I do remember I've got a discount code. You get about 57 quid off, which will go nicely towards a base station, because you're going to need a base station with that, because it does need outside-in tracking, which is the best tracking in the business, admittedly. You know, I don't know why people get so het up about base stations, because, like, I put mine on my wall when I moved here, and that's it. I just completely forget about them, and I just switch them on, and I get tracking straight away. It's really just not a faff at all once you set them up. And long-term viewers of the channel will know, I hate faff. I really hate faff. Oh, look at this. So, the next and final VR headset I'm going to recommend is actually the one that I think you should get, really. And that is the Pimax Crystal Lite. That really has moved the game on when it comes to visuals. It is, in my opinion, the true successor to the Reverb G2.
Pull up. Pull up.
It's alright, bitchin' Betty. I'm a professional, don't worry. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's just check a few things off here. Does it have the same brilliant audio as the Reverb G2? Well, if you opt for the DMAS speakers, yes it does. It has the same floating ear design, which, in my opinion, every VR headset on the planet should have. What about the visuals? The visuals are a massive upgrade from the G2. It has aspheric lenses, which has a huge sweet spot. Not quite as good as the Quest 3, but it has a DisplayPort connection, so you're going to get crisp and clean visuals. And really sharp visuals out to the horizon as well, which you don't get in the Quest 3. Because it's just super direct PC VR goodness. Which also means it's going to run better on your computer than a Quest 3, with better visuals. So if you've got a really nice high-end GPU, or mid-range GPU, you're doing it a disservice if you get a Quest 3, because it can do so much better for you with a HDMI DisplayPort connection. Then you have a 35 PPD display. I can't remember what the Reverb G2 is offhand. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen now. But that's quite an upgrade. And the resolution is 2880 by 2880 compared to 2160 by 2160. But you have upscale mode, so you can actually feasibly start at the same resolution as the G2. Say if you're just upgrading from it and you haven't upgraded your GPU. And then that way it'll be easier for your GPU to handle, and then kind of upscale from there. Or super sample it from there. You've also got fixed FOVEATED rendering and, you know, native OpenXR support, and that means that the fixed FOVEATED rendering works in every OpenXR application, which is sort of at driver level, which is great. The only thing that I can say, well, there's two things actually. The first one is, it's not as comfortable as the G2. It isn't. I mean, I still think that the Crystal Lite is comfortable, and it's not too bad at all. And if you do invest in a Studio Form Apache strap, I do have discounts on the channel for all things Studio Form, and again, lots of reviews of their balancer kits and spacer kits. That's kind of all you need really to get the comfort dialed in. But it is a big headset, it's quite bulky, which is a shame, but don't let that fool you. I personally feel, in fact, I've done a 3-hour session in the Crystal Lite and I felt fine. But it may be an issue for you. And the other thing is quality control. But I have to say, in defense to Pimax, they're not the only VR manufacturer that has quality control issues. Not by a long stretch of the imagination. I had to go through 6 Quest 3s because they all had dead pixels and really bad mirror problems. The Reverb G2 had serious problems at launch as well with their cable and AMD compatibility. The Vario XR4, which is $6,000, has quality control issues with the display. So, when you put it into context, no, it's not great. It's not great. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Pimax at all, and I'm the first person to highlight when there's issues. In fact, I did do straight away, because some of the lenses with the Pimax crystal light, well, they're a bit dodgy, and that's the first thing you need to check when you get your crystal light is, does it look okay? Does it look okay in the headset? If it does, you've got a good one. But I have been speaking to Pimax, and they are very much aware of this, and that was a few months ago now, and their quality control is improving, and no doubt about it, they are trying. And I still feel that the crystal light is the headset that makes the most sense. So anyway, that'll do for this video. This seems like a nice fitting tribute to the Reverb G2, flying this amazing aircraft by CJ Simulations, the Typhoon. And make no mistake, as we fly over Llandudno here in Wales, I am really, really sad about this. That this is my last flight in this headset, my last video in this headset. Because if only HP, if they could just, all they needed to do was change the lenses of this to pancake. And maybe even keep the panel the same. And just add Steam VR support, you know, collaborate with Valve, because they already did anyway with the speakers. That's what I don't understand. They already had that connection with them. And they could have made a Reverb G3, and it would have been a sensational headset.
Transonic.
But never mind, we've got to look to the future, guys. Especially at the moment, with
Transonic.
MSFS 2024 on the horizon. And it's a very exciting future ahead. From me and my beloved Reverb G2, thanks for watching. Please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.